original stairs. Been preserved for over almost 300 years. Almost 300 years, the original stairs. But the stairs weren't already here. They built the stairs, or were they already here?
All made this rock. They built by itself.
They chiseled away. Okay.
All right.
Go back down. So you're saying they got off the boat right here?
Yeah.
They came up the stairs. These stairs. So this right here.
It was the first building.
It was the original point of return.
Yeah, the first
this
building.
right here, these stairs, signify the original point of return for the black Americans who decided to repatriate back to Africa, to Liberia here on Providence Island. Hello, I'm Dynasty Demir. We are in Monrovia, Liberia at Providence Island. This is the original point of return. I know in Ghana this year they're celebrating the year of return, but in my honest opinion, the original year of return was 1821, where black Americans were fed up with the racial terrorism in America and they decided to come to Liberia and take control of their own destiny. And that's where we're at, Providence Island. I have Rhoda with me.
Hi guys, good to see you again. Thanks for coming.
I'm happy to be here. I'll be back. I'll be back.
We're so happy to have you here. Another great Pan-African YouTuber. I love connecting all of us, all across the world. So that's amazing. Thank you for coming. But yeah, we're here where it all started. And this is the first point where the free slaves stopped. And Providence Island was kind of like a staging point, a welcome center of sorts, where the free slaves would settle after their very long voyage before going to their establishments. One of them, the main ones being Harrisburg, where I'm from and my family's from, and we're still there actually, which hopefully we'll get a chance to take you there as well.
Tuesday.
Yeah, when you get back. But yeah, this is where it all started. So let's check it out.
Check it out.
Let's check it out. I believe he's German.
So this tree, so the old weapons.
Thank you.
So the old weapons that was used during the Civil War. Now the first or the second Civil War, or both? All Civil War. The 1980 was the first one. It was the first coup, right?
Yes.
Then you had 1996.
Yes, and one till about 2001.
Wow.
Ish.
Wow.
Yeah. I was here in 2001 and there was some rumblings, but it wasn't bad. We were here
Let
for
me ask you
vacation.
this, if you come closer. Who was actually fighting in the war? That's what I like. Who was fighting who?
That's a long one. That's layers, right? So I mean the original first war.
Okay.
Okay. So Samuel Doe came in.
Correct.
He came in with kind of a bang. He wasn't elected in, but he came in.
Cool.
And a lot of people say he was always on edge because of the way that he came in. Because when you come in a certain way, you have to watch out for the same people, like yourself. And then Charles Taylor staged the coup. I believe it was it.
I thought it was Prince Johnson that staged it.
Well, Prince Johnson was part of Charles Taylor's forces.
Okay.
But Charles Taylor was the leader of the rebel faction.
Now, didn't Prince work for Samuel Doe? Or no? Or am I wrong?
I can't.
Okay, go ahead.
You probably should do this with somebody who knows the history of the war.
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah, but we can keep talking.
Okay.
But yeah, so then when the first coup happened, I mean, it was a very public thing. I think there's video that you can find of Prince Johnson.
And then the people on the beach.
Yes. So that happened. And then for me, when people say the first and second Civil War, it kind of blurs for me because for me, being a refugee or living in America, it started from when I left. Because I left in 1990.
Okay.
And I didn't visit Liberia again until 2001.
Wow.
And there was still some violence on the outskirts. It wasn't as much in Monrovia, but yes, it lasted for that long. So when you say first or second, I'm like, Oh, it just seems to blend on into me, you know, because even if there was a time of peace, it wasn't a very long period, you know. And for the people here, I'm sure there's no differentiation between the first and the second, yeah. But this is, when I came to visit this island for the first time, Manfred, I'm not gonna try to butcher his
Zimbrinzi.
something.
Zimbrinzi.
So he is an artist that took the actual guns, the actual ammunition, the metal. There's a very powerful photo I have of a young boy walking in the streets with slippers, and there's nothing but shell casings all over the ground, all over. And that was like an everyday walk for him. So seeing guns and ammunition and case shellings everywhere was a normal part of life for a lot of people who lived through the war. So to be able to take something so ugly and so traumatizing and make it into something beautiful, a piece of art, that can be here forever and still make you remember where we've come, how far we've come, and how much further we have to go, I think is very powerful. And he also makes art pieces and furniture at home from the same weapons that were confiscated during the war. You know, I've seen a table made of an AR-15. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Check him out. I'm trying to get a piece for myself right now.
I've seen the AK-47 lamps. But...
Yeah. There's some tables and other things.
Oh wow! Wow.
But where's the guy?
So this is the original well. Oh. But when the Americos first came, it was dug in 1822. So this is where they would fetch their water.
Okay, let's see you work. Come on. I don't want you doing this. Yeah, let's see some action.
Here we go. Okay, I'm about to get it.
I've never done this before.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, there we go. I got something.
Look, you might as well just move here now.
I'll give you $1 if you drink it. If you drink it, I'll give you $1.
Yeah, well, no. We want to stay away from those things.
There we go.
Oh, wait.
We'll get in the photo. I have a camera here.
Well, okay, Joe. What you doing? The man said he walked at Joe.
Years of years.
Okay.
So your family, did they come from the U.S. or like where did they?
Yes, my mother's side came from they were descendants of freed American slaves.
You know what part of America?
Yeah, actually, so the first ship came, it was called the Elizabeth, and it came in 1822.
So they were on that ship?
Yes, my great-great-grandmother was actually born on that ship.
That came to Providence?
Yes, that came to Providence. She was born on that ship. Her name was Simi Emmons, and her family came from Whitestone, North Carolina. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, North Carolina.
So why did they come?
They came because they were in search of greener pastures, you know what I mean? The opportunity was there. And what I thought was really fascinating about the whole process was that the freed slaves that came to Liberia, they had to know how to read and write. It was like a necessity. They had to, fill out forms and everything like that. So they were really they were being adventurous. And I guess that's where I get it from, because I'm super adventurous as well. Like, a lot of people thought I was crazy growing up in the States for 20 years and being like, oh, well, I'm moving to moving to Liberia.
Introduce yourself. You gotta let everybody know who you are.
Sure. So my name is Chiquita A. Johnson, Chiquita Afluenu Johnson, and I'm a travel and tourism specialist here in Liberia. I'm the founder and CEO of West Tourism Management, tour operations company here in Liberia.
So when you hear the stories of your great-great-great-great-grandmother who came here in 1822, like, what was their experience? Did they ever talk about it? Like, what was going on? What was here?
I mean, at the time, it was just barren. I can't even say barren, because Liberia is so naturally beautiful and lush, but it was very much underdeveloped. It was just, green, traditional villages everywhere. And of course, many of the people who came, a lot of them lost their lives because of like malaria, diseases that they weren't used to at all. So I'm just lucky that,
You here?
Yeah, my ancestors made it through, so I'm here today.
What
who did they bring here? Like, you know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, you can't deny that it was the Americo-Liberians that actually established the nation. you can't deny that it was the Liberians that really just that developed the country, because as long as the indigenous people were here, don't get me wrong, they have their customs, they have their traditions, they were doing what they were doing, but it was the Liberians that actually developed Liberia into a developed nation at the time, an African developed nation at the time, up until the Civil War.
All right,
That's
so
undeniable.
So the question is, when the Americans arrived, like you said, the tribes they came in, they were continental tribal beasts. Some tribes were participating in the slave trade. How and the argument is, well, they didn't integrate into Liberian society when there really wasn't homogeneous Liberian society. With all that being said, how was the Liberian supposed to react?
React to
Again, the argument is, let me turn the camera on myself. The argument is when they came, again, they had their English names, they spoke English, they didn't integrate into Liberian society. But when they came here, there were warring tribes, some tribes were even participating in the slave trade. How was the America supposed to react facing all that?
how were they supposed to?
Because you have some people that say that didn't happen. Like, for example, you have people that would argue, even though the slave trade was happening from Mauritania all the way to Angola, they will say, well, right there in Liberia, that wasn't happening. So you have some people that are saying, well, they should integrate into the, Liberian society.
Right.
But how are they supposed to when tribal bees, some of the chiefs are already selling out to European leaders? What were they supposed to do?
I mean, I think that some people could have made more of an effort to, really integrate themselves into the culture, but there were people that did. You know what I mean? Like, there were people that married people of ethnic tribes or indigenous tribes. There were people that spoke. My grandmother spoke Vai and Pele fluently. You know what I mean? So, and she appreciated their culture. She learned how to cook. We all know how to cook Liberian food, like tabagi, cassava leaf, palm butter. Those aren't American foods. Those are Liberian foods, and those are things that we all know how to cook. We all appreciated learning like cultural dance and the customs and the traditions. Now, did they participate in those things? No, because they were of Christian values. So like things going to the Poro Bush and the Sandy Society, American Liberians. Maybe there were some that did, but majority of them didn't. But to me, I don't feel like the nation would have gotten as far as it did if the two people weren't united in some sort of way. I feel like it's a false narrative to really try to make it seem like people were just so segregated and so separated.
Right.
I think that's a completely false narrative.
Okay, so the argument is the Americans came, enslaved the natives. There was set up a system of apartheid. That's what people say.
I know.
That's what people say. So
I know.
what are your thoughts when people say that?
Like I said, it's hard for me to speak on a whole because of what I was shown and what I saw with my family. My family welcomed the indigenous people. They worked hand in hand with the indigenous people. They spoke the language. They cooked the food. They connected with them. You know what I mean? Like I said, my great grandmother married a Bassa man. You know what I mean? So to me, it's a very new concept to me, and it's something I'm still learning about because it was something that I was never exposed to.
Okay, so what was Liberia before the first coup? Did you ever hear stories like what?
Absolutely.
The glory of Liberia, like
Yeah,
what was before the first coup?
absolutely. It was Little America. That's what everybody called it. It was Little America. People used to come here for education, for healthcare. It was extremely developed. That's what's so interesting when, like my parents, when they go to places like Nigeria and Ghana now, they're in shock because they remember when
Liberia was ahead.
Exactly. Like my mother always references how people used to come from Ghana to buy sugar and bread.
And get educated here too, as far as universities,
Right, exactly. So it was wonderful. I mean, there's so many great documentaries on YouTube where you can really see like the glory days of Liberia, a real life developed nation.
Willa. Okay.
My name?
Dynasty Amir.
Dynasty Amir. I come at the Providence Island. The Providence Island part of two events took place at the Providence Island.
Okay.
We had a settler and we had a Egyptian, which the settler they came from America. When they came, they landed. When they came, they used to collect them from Liberia here, and they used to keep them here. We have a building back there. I think it's one back there. I saw you people coming from there.
No, one good.
We haven't reached there yet, but another place.
Okay, they had a monument that was built on top of. They used to get the people and keep them there. Their food for them from Liberia to America. See, on slavery. So when they were free from slavery, the part of government in America that were responsible for these people was governor Paul Coffee.
Paul Coffee, okay.
Paul Coffee. Okay. Then when Paul Coffee
Now,
died.
Paul Coffee founded Sierra Leone too, didn't he? Or he
No,
was
no, no.
involved-
You know, Sarah Long, I'm coming to here. I will get to you. So after Paul Coffee died, and then the American had the American ACA colonization. They had a group put together to send them back to Africa.
Right.
Because they came from Africa. So when they sent them back to Africa, they landed at Sierra Leone. It was its first place.
Okay.
And they landed in Sierra Leone. They had a governor at that time. He was not the president. He was called Governor McCarthy. Charles McCarthy. But then because of the British and the American War, so he said, no, you people was not live here. He never agreed for them to be there. Isn't it? Some of them were there, they died by mosquito bite and other things. So they decided to get on board. When they got on board, came, at that time you look down and it came Duzuma Bridge. That bridge that I called it, came Duzuma Bridge.
And then
It was
before
okay.
it was called Providence Island, wasn't it called Duza? How do you say it?
The first name was Dozra Island. I come into Liberia.
okay, all
If I land in Liberia, then I'm going to give you everything.
All right.
Yeah? Okay, so when they came, when they landed in Sierra Leone, they died by mosquito bite. A lot of things happened to them. So they decided to get on board. They had a three ship. They had the Mayflower, they had a Navigator, and a Navigator. They were on board. The story tell all that. Their service number was the Mayflower had a service number.
The who?
Some were
Mayflower.
Mayflower.
They had what?
A specific
Mayflower.
number.
Specific number, okay.
They had the two numbers. Some people say 88, some people say 86.
Passengers? You're talking about
Yeah, the
specific-
passengers.
Okay.
Passengers, okay.
Yeah. So it never had a Pacific number for now. So that the two number history was more than you. So when they came at the Atlantic Ocean. When they came at that place, you're looking at down there, it was not called West Point. It was just an open up area.
Or just the ocean.
Like just an ocean and the river. Okay, first you see this river,
Yeah.
Stoughton Creek.
This
It's
thing that you get
the
on it.
Mosserado River. So if you go to the island here, you'll see there's an intersection where they share. You see the Mosserado River, you see the Stoughton Creek River. This is the Stoughton
And they
Creek.
join, and then they
join
badmouth out to
and
the
badmouth
ocean.
out to
Yeah.
the ocean. So when they came at that time, they landed at the West Point. Today called West Point. It was not called West Point. It was open up area. So when they came, that bridge came Duzuma Bridge. At that time, the bridge was not there. You had nothing called bridge at that time. So when they came in, they saw the open area. But our people were living here at that time.
The indigenous people were
The indigenous people were living
And what
here.
tribe? What tribe was it?
There was the Bazolan and Mamban Bazolan people.
Okay.
They were live here. But at that time, they couldn't speak English. See? So when they came in, they landed at the Providence Island. Today called Providence Island. When they landed here, it was not called Providence Island. It was called Dozua Island.
Now let me ask you, the tribe that you just said that was here.
The
that-
Bazolan.
Yeah, but what would that be considered now? Which tribe?
They are the Bassa people.
Bassa people.
Yeah,
Oh,
they are the
okay.
Bassa
Bassa
people
tribe.
today, yes.
Okay.
So when they landed here, our people were living up Duko. They were not breaking on the land, but they usually used to come to break roof on the land and carry it back to use.
Okay.
So when they came at time, they saw the white, they saw the blacks. They couldn't speak English. So they began to clash, began to fight. The Lord said, we had a king. We were called King Sabosu. We were living Boboluwe.
Is that King Peter?
King Sabosu. So he came in. When he came in, he decided to ask them because he was a trader. He used to give them salt
Okay.
and pepper and things.
Okay.
You got to talk about King Peter Longgreen, those people on the South Congo settlement, you see that. So they were all part of those people that came, isn't it? So when they came, after that, the war between the post party, and he decided to ask those people that came from America. So but we see you people, the black and the white. we are here. Which place do you people come from? They say, oh no, we are Liberians. We left from the country and we're free from up there. So we are back home.
Right. Africans turning back home, right?
Yeah. So they say, but now we are back home. So we are your brothers and sisters.
Right.
So after they told the king, and he decided to turn to the Bassa people. At that time, the history was not in written history. At that time, in 1822, he lived here. They came 1822 and they lived here from 1822 to 1823. I will show you what all the signed the agreement, the treaty, everything. Okay, so after that clash, then he called our people that were here because he used to give them a business, a trader, sort and thing there. So he spoke Basel to them. He said, but the people, they are our people and they are free from up there, they are back on the motherland.
Right.
So we cannot be fighting among ourselves because of piece of land. So they came to the set. When they came, they settled the dispute right under this starting tree that you see today.
And this cotton tree, did it just fall?
Yeah,
Because when I was here last, it was up.
Yeah, last year when the Good Friday.
Okay.
So you had a cotton tree, you had a male and a female under this cotton tree. This is the oldest tree in the country of
Oh, this is the oldest tree, right?
So because that, I can't have to come put mark on it before government can call it what is building. This is why you stay seeing it. So got a statue at the museum.
Yeah. So this was the oldest tree I told you about.
Right here.
This is
Right
it.
there.
That fell. Yeah.
So you had a male and a female. So they stay here in 1822 to 1823. So they joined him
Under this tree.
on this tree. They decided to be one.
And that's
But then
all-
when they went up again, see the age, they had another clash. The way that our school parish, they had another clash between them. Then up crying, they had a tail crash. Then because they called them together because they know at that time they were putting things together because they were very educated. That's how they start naming. And Broad Street today, you see what called Bar Street. The countrymen couldn't pass them. Because they start giving Dancing Street, they start naming the street.
So
After
the
them.
Liberians took the name that it was called. So the base name was Bar Street, and they evolved it to Broad Street.
Broad Street.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, the island had the three names at that time when it came. When it came, the settlers that were here at that time, it was Dozua Island.
Okay.
As time go back, they named it Providence Island. As time went back, they named it Providence Island.
So it's like the evolution of
Okay.
English.
The
Providence.
definition
Okay.
is God
Given.
gives.
Okay. That's the definition of
Yeah.
Providence.
Then the Dozua Island is a piece of land that's surrounded by the water from the
Okay.
Basso Faneca.
So that's an island. That's how you say it, Dwaza?
Dozua
Dozwa is
Dozwa
the
Island.
Bassa word for island.
Island. There's
So
a
that was
piece
the
of
original
land
name.
that's surrounded
Okay.
by a water.
Right.
That's
Then
the
the
definition.
next name was
Providence Island.
okay.
That's why all the government, when they get together, the first thing they have the Providence Baptist Church.
Okay.
And when they start naming all government, capital names, these people.
Okay.
So the Baptist Church.
So talk to us about after all the clashes. After all the clashes that are happening here in town, where did the majority of the, because I'm from Carisburg, and I know that's one of the settlements that they went
Yeah.
to. So where did they go from Providence Island? After they
From
left
Providence Island, some of them decide, because some of them landed in Maryland County, and they decide to go back to Maryland and go to Maryland County. You see, we got a piece of island there. Then they come, some of them went Caverburg. Some of them left from here, went
Cape Verde
Attington,
Island.
to the Attington.
Yeah.
Some of them went Kilman.
Cape Mount.
They had a big,
Robertsport.
okay, it was the second place that they landed. When you called that, but it was because that land was very small. It was called Cape Moserado.
Okay.
There's a small land shooting from the sea straight in. That was the first place they landed.
Yes. And
Cape
Robertsport is
Moserado.
a place that you have to
From
visit
Piso
when you have
River,
more
right?
time. It's
From
beautiful.
Piso, right?
Yeah. Then we have the blue lake. The blue lake that when you find it,
Booming.
That booming. Yeah.
where you see the rocks,
Yeah.
over the water shooting
Right.
here.
So they went to Cape Mount, Bomi County,
Maryland
Maryland,
County,
and where else?
Attington,
Attington.
Clay Island.
Clay Island.
So you see a lot of twins there.
So where did Carisburg coming from now? 'Cause I didn't make that one up. How did we end up in Carisburg?
Carisburg is there, but then because you see the river, there's Stockton Creek River, because the captain that came with them, he named the river after him.
Okay.
Stockton.
Okay.
He came along with the people,
Okay.
but he used to patrol this river.
Okay.
So they named this river, they saw after him.
Okay.
This is called the Moss River.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So we continue on the tour.
Yeah. Okay.
It was his older street, but now he has been damaged. This is the male, and this is his female. On the Good Friday morning, while sitting, we know that the male will be for it. So it had God made men. How the street was spending.
They made y'all easy to fall in.
Yeah.
Where's the woman? The woman still standing?
So there's the woman.
Okay.
Okay.
So he's saying this is the male tree.
Male tree.
They had
And
everything.
the woman tree.
It's
And
still
he
up.
says that God made the tree just like he made men. So you know how women were strong, were hard to deter. It takes a lot. It just took a little bit of a storm, and there goes the men. Shocking.
So when they came with cement, and then they came with water. They only show you the foundation for now because the place, the hut, have been damaged. So as tourists come, we only show you the foundation. So
Now, is it true that part of one of the original ships is underneath the island?
Yes. Doing the landscaping, there were the discussion on our former president, Ellen Johnson. Okay, so but then they close it up, and then they will find something before come along to Jackie or so
Get in front.
for now, we only show tourists the spot.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, when they came, this was the first day they were here. At that time, we had.
One second, they'll wait till we get there, yeah? Oh, bump on that shoe.
Yeah, like go again, high shoe, yeah. All of the group jacking, I didn't want. The group that jacking.
Alright, so stand here.
Okay,
But how do
this-
you
this
want
was
to
the-
show this angle? Let Joe come on this side.
Yeah, do it for this side.
Yeah, let Dinah stand in the area. Come on. Alright. Joe, come closer, but like, get from over here. What are you doing on that side? Can you see?
Okay, when they came, it was the first day because they came with cement. They came with everything.
Okay, so here's the stair I'm covering.
Yeah.
So these are the original stairs.
Oh, those are
Yeah,
original
this
stairs.
is the step.
Those are original
And then-
steps.
So this is the flow. This is flow, the horse building. But at that time, you never had nothing as zinc. At that time, you had tash. Where you only do it like this. If you go up interior, like way in Maryland County, some of the counties, you see people still using that on the
Tash,
highway, tash horse. So they only used to do it like this and flat it like this, and put the pips of their bone over it, and continue it like this. And when the
So
rain
that was
fall,
like that was the housing.
yeah.
That was the roofing,
Oh.
thatch roofing.
Oh, wow,
So
okay.
back in the day, in the 1800s when they landed, there was no zinc.
Zinc, no
Right.
The
zinc.
things you see now.
Right.
So, I mean, and honestly, these days, if I can find thatch, it's more durable to me.
Really?
Yeah. Take the leaves and you weave it with sticks.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
those
wow.
you can see the roof that is made
We
from
got,
the
we
leaves.
got people up in Tura still doing this
Yes.
work.
that's-
Really?
I said,
We're
well,
actually-
Traditional
Yes.
horse.
Oh, you do it?
Yeah. And
We,
you pour them.
when we were talking about redoing this, the island, we were trying to do World Tourism Day last year. One of the things that we were looking into was getting rid of the zoo
Yeah.
and making thatch roofs.
Oh, wow.
So there
Yeah,
was a
very
building
durable.
that was set up. So there was the first building, then the second building, but those things you only see for now the pillows. Because during the war, our brother then they had certain steel inside. The last steel had something was in it. So then they start damaging the bricks to get it out of it. They go and sell.
Okay, let's pause it. I want you to start.
Go ahead.
Right.
Was it George Foreman?
George Foreman.
George Foreman in
Congo, DRC?
In the Congo.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody is posting Michael Jackson's mom and sister, Latoya. They used to come here in Liberia. They held Liberian passports. Hugh Masekela, Miriam Makeba, all of them lived here. They had their homes here.
People don't hear that.
They don't. And Nina Simone lived here.
My dad
Went
used
to
to come.
school with her daughter.
My dad used to come here all the time.
Okay. This would what's his name? John Amos from Good Times, those old 70s sitcoms, etc. He had a home here.
Ebony
He had a-
Magazine used to always, and Jet Magazine used to always.
Yes. Okay. they just gave us the matches and said, okay, here, blow it up, and we did, and we're in a lot of pain now because the authors of that coup d'etat refuse to outwardly acknowledge that they made a mistake or they made mistakes. Their intentions may have been good. They may have wanted to see a more equitable society, and that may have been what motivated some people. Again, as in any situation, you have different people with different motivations. Some people just wanted to acquire for themselves. Some people just wanted, I don't know, revenge.
Right.
That also played. But in the end, what they did was acquiring all these viable industries. Like somebody said, they used to serve Liberian shrimp in restaurants in New York.
Well, they used to, I guess, Japan export
Yep. Yep.
Liberian seafood to Japan.
Yes, yes, all over the world.
Uh-huh.
I have no small measure of pride when I see Liberian rice served in a restaurant. Well, there's one restaurant that's giving us the props, that's giving us the credit, in New York at the Africa Center, one restaurant in London, and it's starting to make a name for this Liberian rice that we grow and export from here. We have so many problems doing it, but the satisfaction I get is from showing that it can be done. We used to do it before. Somebody came, busted it all up, and then sat there and said, okay, now what? Our economy has just gone, in stages, declined. So far, I don't know what it's going to take to get it back together again, or get it back moving again. I'm not so much interested in the political dynamics, the way we do politics here, etc., etc. I just want whoever's in charge to start doing the right things for the economy and for Liberians.
Now, as I mentioned before, the Liberia is essentially the original point of return.
Right.
How did it shift to Ghana, and what do we do to get it shift back to Liberia?
Because Ghana just took its marketing strategy, and then they took the brand, Year of the Return. They took the brand and they ran with it. But it's very interesting. There's very few Liberians that will talk about our history. I think you can count them on one hand.
Exactly.
Without pain and passion. And that includes myself. Without a feeling of, with complete pride. If I put pride in something, somebody will attack and make you defensive. But none of us want to aim. Nobody's history is perfect.
Right.
I mean, which country? My husband is from Belgium. I go to Belgium. I'm going to Belgium now for Christmas. I go to cities that were built on the back of their colonial past in the Congo, which was bloody. It was an atrocity. There were genocidal things that happened in Africa at their hands, and they built their cities, and they're sitting pretty, and the Congo is still not straight.
Right.
So people speak about that king when you're in Belgium. In hushed
Leopold.
tones. Yeah,
Yeah.
Leopold. He was king of the Belgians. He was not king of Belgium. They speak of him in hushed tones, but they don't give back what his excesses built for them. It's theirs now.
Of course not. They just it happened. Yeah, it's whatever.
But a country that has so much to be proud of, and we're sitting here tearing ourselves apart. No, no, you can't be proud of that. No, you can't be proud of this. No, you can't be proud. Nothing was ever perfect. So, you know, I take the situation for the settlers coming here. A ship would land with settlers coming in from the U.S. Another ship would come having, they call them recaptives, captured a slaver and freed the slaves or the enslaved people that they had, the cargo that was on its way to the U.S. They would intercept the ship, bring sometimes one account from one of the agents talked about 1,000 people
On one boat?
no,
Okay.
2 or 3 boats
Okay.
that they intercepted that were bringing, and rather than take them back to Angola or
Congo.
Benin or Congo, wherever they were coming from, they brought them and put them here. And the settlers assimilated with them, and they took them. Sometimes they would go from house to house and say, "Can you please take one? You can take a young boy or girl or etc., or this man or this woman and these people." They took them into their homes.
Right.
You're a refugee. You get to America, whether on resettlement or whatever, or you get to Ghana. How many refugees went there and started fostering less fortunate inner city kids? I want to ask them that. So you were there.
Right.
You were trying to get along and establish yourself as a refugee. How many people did you reach out to and help?
In fact, they kind of segregate themselves from.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yes. And so the Liberian settlers are being castigated for having done just that. What would you do? You come on a boat with, I know Dynast, I know Zubin, we all came from the same plantation, we're all in this thing together.
Right.
Why did I not go and embrace Momo over there, who I don't know, and instead I stuck to Dynast and Zubin and the people that I do know, and felt some kinship with and spoke the language, and we've all gone through something similar. We know what's behind us and we know why we're here. And then people say, well, why didn't you educate
Right. Let them vote.
the
Educate.
indigenous?
Right.
Look, my great-grandmother had an 8th grade education. My grandfather's sisters did not go further than 8th grade. I come from a relatively well-educated family, but there are many children of settlers that did not get an education. Partly because there was no money, or they couldn't afford it, whatever, or they didn't prize education as it is. So putting that story as if, oh, they came here, they found the Holy Grail, they became instant millionaires, and then they started to oppress.
Right.
the rest of the people.
That's the story.
That is
In the interest of America.
that is bull.
Okay.
That's just
The original stairs been preserved for over almost 300 years. Almost 300 years, the original stairs. But the stairs weren't already here. They built the stairs, or were they already here?
Paul made this rock. They built by himself.
They chiseled
They chiseled away.
They
Okay.
chiseled.
That was chisel.
All right. Go back down. So you're saying they got off the boat right here
Yeah.
and came up the stairs?
Came with this.
Yep.
These stairs. So this is this right here.
It was
Is
the
the-
first building.
It was the original point of return.
Yeah, the first
This
building.
right here, these stairs, signify the original point of return for the Black Americans who decided to repatriate back to Africa, to Liberia here on Providence Island. These stairs right here, this is the original point of return. I'm here right now, 1821.
All right, stand there. Let me take a picture for you.
1822.
Was it 21 or 22?
22.
The voyage started in 20.
Okay, 22. 1822, I'm sorry. 1822.
1823, they hardly left the land.
Yeah, but they got here in 1822, right? All right.
So 1822, I'm sorry. This is the point, the first point of entry, point of return for the Black Americans who decided to return back to Africa. They made that voyage here to Africa, to Liberia. This is the point of return. The original point of return. Right.
Okay, just stand and smile. Let me get a picture of you. One more. Angles, background. Content.
Okay.
Alright.
You know, you could do. This could be a
It
ceremony.
could
You see what
be
they
the
do
door
at-
of no return.
What did you say? You know, they but this would be the point of return.
Even better. But how? Look at around you. I was telling
They
you,
do the
there's
ceremonies. You know how we do all white ceremony, like at the Cape Coast Castle.
building a dock.
Yeah.
We even talked about having canoe rides here.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish this part so we can. Yeah.
When the war.
You know that's information, but you just saying it.
Okay, so they want the second building, but now we're going to show you the steps. How come with the second building?
Not athletic.
Only nine. Okay, as time went by, it was the second building. We can just show you all that, the pillow, the step, and then we'll show you once the pillow.
Oh, this
I
is the
told you.
building.
Yeah,
The second or
just the
first?
pillow, yeah, all this was kept. But like something on steel roll was in his, one of the pillow behind him there. But then the phone or something was in his pillow. These guys then they only used to kind of damage it.
So yeah, so during the war, it was still before the war, it was still intact. But what he's saying is, the pillars that were all around here, you can see it over there, over there. During the war, they literally took everything of value that they could find. So the steel rods that were in the base, the foundation, they came and broke it to take the steel rods.
To
So
sell
that's
it?
why
To sell, or?
to sell, yeah, to get money.
Well, that's
To-
like in America.
anywhere, yeah,
you know,
like copper pipe.
copper pipe. Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of our history that could have been preserved, unfortunately.
Had to swap me somewhere.
Yeah, it's
We
up
gotta
and it's
recycle.
long gone.
Yeah, it's all gone. Yeah.
But this was the second. This was the second foundation that they built. The first or second building that they built. Right in this area, but at least we still have this.
So got this.
I wonder what it was. Do you know what it was? Do you know what the building was? What a building was? What building was this? Do you know? Or it was just a building? Okay. Dinah, stand there.
Okay.
Let me do. Put it. Stand on top of the pillar. Still recording?
Stand all the way on top? Or?
Yeah, stand on the top.
So this is the foundation for the second building that was built by the Americans who came and settled on this island, right here.
Shape job doing the landscaping, our former president, Ellen Johnson, said it. And then we discovered say she had a group who was doing landscaping here by the name of Idaman Farm. And then they discovered the shape through a deeper and they saw the shape, piece of it. They start chasing that iron. And then the iron begin to go to that Ball Hill, all the way through. Oh, and we start cutting it. And then we want to go to store the half in the river. But that one I was also kappa. Then when the dapper got to know, when the dappers, those dappers, the people can come and dap for double. They dap for fish. So when they get to know that something is in the water when they went in the river to see, then they found there was iron. And this iron was also kappa. You see they came, they start cutting it.
So they cut it off.
They cut off and they're the one that really on show for now.
And that's part of the boat, the original boat.
Yeah, so
The original boat they mutilated.
they took what they could get. So whatever's left right now is something that they can't get to. They will probably have to excavate
Have
to
to
bring
ask
in like some
government to take
machinery
over.
to bring in anything that was exposed. The divers and the mongers
Yeah.
When they brought it
came
up,
in. No, he said once they started doing the landscaping, they
Right.
discovered that there was some in the river.
Okay.
Then once everyone around started to also hear, they started jumping in the water,
Yeah, so
cutting
There was
the.
a hustle ground now for them.
Yes.
Oh,
Anybody
okay.
come, the police start running after them.
This
At
is why the
certain time.
island is locked during the day.
But the police begin to start running after them. A certain time came, and they go there and the police, everything be done well. Isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. So there is part of the original ship
Under here.
On here.
but it would have to take a force of government and some heavy duty machinery to excavate that.
So listen, for all those historians, come closer, come closer. For all those historians out there, black historians, Professor Davis, you know who I'm talking to, Professor Davis, I'm talking to you. Part of the original ship
Yes, it's still here.
is still here. So we need people who are interested in history to come help excavate the ship and bring it to the surface so we could, I don't know, restore it, you know, preserve it, because it's history. Same thing with, for those who know about Cujo Lewis in Mobile, Alabama, the last slave who came from Dahomey, which is President of Benin Republic, who came to America. They just discovered that ship in Mobile, Alabama, near Africa Town. I was just there this summer. So I know they're starting to bring that ship up, preserve it, and you know, whatever they do with stuff like that. So we can do the same thing here in Liberia, because the original ship is somewhere under here. So yeah.
So Joe, I think you should get.
And the president, Liberia had a president called Tubman, really? Tubman.
Tubman, okay.
Tolbert.
Tubman.
Tubman or Tolbert?
Tubman.
Okay, so
Tubman.
Bill Tubman.
Yeah,
William Tubman.
William Tubman. So he used to love cultural activities. So as time came to build this place, this was one of the regime.
This big Palawa hut.
Because at that time we never had Palawa. So when he came to power, he decided to put a history and build a Palawa hut. And when something happened between him and himself or not, we will not go under the cotton tree again. That's why in the rural area you see for now, people go under the Palawa hut, and something happens,
Yeah.
they settle the
You know what Palawa hut is, right?
Well, I know, like in Dogon country, like the elders get together
Yes.
under like a
So
hut kind of.
the word Palawa in Liberian,
Right.
in English means confrontation, fuss. Like if you're fighting with someone. So if I
Right.
have Palawa with you,
Yeah.
now we have a structure called the Palawa hut. So you, like you said, you don't go under the cotton tree, you don't go in the village to go and stop the Palawa. You sit under the hut and y'all work out your differences
Right.
under the Palawa hut.
Right.
So that's how it started, but now Palawa huts are used for entertainment. People put it in their houses.
different ways.
It's like a gazebo.
Gazebo. Okay.
Gazebo. But the original meaning behind it was a place to settle differences.
All right.
So he had a stage, the National Culture Troupe. At that time, had a National Culture Troupe. He used to perform at the stage there. And he had a bathing, was a bathing. He used to sit in his bathing, observe the culture,
Watch it.
and so on. And he had a song, every tongue, every jail, will be in the first, the same will be in the second one. And now, everything I think will caretaker in one. Then
Right.
other
So
people-
now when people have events on Providence Island, they use the same Palawa hut that Tubman used to use for cultural experiences. This would be, if you're having an event, this would be a big spot at Providence Island. And the same area you use the stage
Right.
for the cultural troops to dance is still here. It's refurbished, but the original
So he
intention.
had a lady who used to say, Mayata Zoo had a cafeteria. That place was the cafeteria. This was this conference room.
Okay. So Tubman really developed Providence Island into what it is today.
And had that 10-bedroom house
Oh wow. What happened to the house? It
Yeah,
left in the war.
damaged.
Yeah.
on our side.
So Tubman really could develop this island into what could be like a conference center. He had a
Right.
conference room, he had the stage, he had the Palawa hut, a 10-bedroom house.
Yeah, at the island here, but that damage, we only show you the foundation. And at that time, there was no bridge. So we show you the ferry.
It
But you
hurts.
can go on the ferry for now. But you will see, you have been cash to the river. You can walk over it a certain distance. Or nothing there to move it how it used to be.
Okay. The
That
foundation is still strong
time.
there.
Yeah, stay strong, solid concrete.
So what other shots do you want to get? Because
1822, when they stay here for a time, the water got finished, everything got finished. And then when you find out the Stockton Creek River is salted, the Muscle River is salted. So they join hands at the conference room for now. I call the conference room. Right in front of that place, they join hands and pray. As God made it, the water that God gave them, no salt. And they start using that water for safe drinking water. And they start using it for now. The caretaker here, we don't use that water. When dry season comes, we help those that from Vietnam, those from Slipway community. Some
You
come
provide
from
them with water.
Front Street camp for water.
That's
The water
amazing.
don't dry.
Yeah.
From the well. They give them water from the well.
Yeah, so you're saying during the dry season when
Uh-huh.
other communities are suffering to get sources
Water.
of water, Providence Island, the caretakers here, they provide the
Is
surrounding
water
communities.
an issue?
Oh,
Shortage
water-
here?
Well, clean, safe drinking water.
Okay, got you. Okay.
So every year they take care of it. But for now, our government said, our minister said we shouldn't give it to them because crossing the water, some of them got drowned.
Got who?
That
Drown.
They would drown.
Yeah,
Oh, they
because
swim
come
over.
with
Yeah,
canoe.
canoes.
Oh.
Canoe.
Oh, wow.
So you saw some of the guys with the canoes. There's fishing.
I
Yeah.
caught a canoe. I was so scared. I caught one in Gambia.
You have to see my Monkey Island video. We got on that video.
They were by themselves. Okay, this way, after when they came, there was no water. So when they join hands and pray, this is the oldest well in Republic of Liberia. It was built in 1822. For now, people come. Listen that. Okay.
You can see it written
Yeah.
Yeah.
They saw it already, but you just haven't talk about it. Yeah. So when people come, we help them with this water and they drink. Water being can be hard slippery, Vietnam. This is the oldest well in Republic of Liberia.
The oldest well, and it's still producing water
They're still producing water.
from 1822.
1822. So as we go around, you see, people with the water, it's up.
Give them $1.
They
He said
want.
if I drink it.
Listen, they want. It's not salty. But the Muscle River, you will not be able to drink it like this. Or the Stockton Creek River like this, you will not be able to drink it like this. Eh?
He said if I drink it, he would give me $1. So you drink it, you get the $1. He had to pay up somewhere.
Okay, so the woman will go in the hut to see. I told you, see, the hut, those people were living in when they came at that time.
Right.
It was had a difference because the king was smelling, the king out of things. But now it's necessary that you teach them how there was the house, and this was the settlers that came. It was the living area they had at that time. You see that? So it was, they had under the rock. The government said they would put the same thing that you see here under the rock. This is a thatch. You see that? It's not zinc. This, the wood is not zinc. But for now we are using, zinc.
Right.
So at that time they were not using zinc. Okay, so we'll come. Okay, at that time I told you about the batter, the system that people had. At that time there was the batter system. You give.
This is a butter system.
Batter system.
Right.
They were teaching things. And then,
Yes.
when they came the one land, then the poor, what is going to get them to get land is salt,
Sugar, tobacco.
tobacco. This is what that was the teachers there. They did. Huh? Here is the poor who came on a boat with a ship. They were Christian faith. They were a Christian faith during those days when they came. The settler were king, they were Christian.
Right.
Okay.
Are you Christian?
So I'm a Muslim.
You Muslim? Are you Christian or Muslim?
Yeah, I'm Christian.
You're Christian?
Yes, this is one of the ships. What brought the people? Because the ship, what brought the people? It was 3 ships. Elizabeth, the Mayflower, Nautilus, and Navigator. So this is the Mayflower. But this, the two other ones there, they don't have specific number. Only the Elizabeth and Mayflower have 86 immigrants.
It's 88.
Yes, 88.
Okay.
They
So this is the boat that's over there.
Yeah, it docked over there.
Yeah, it's over there.
But the old one was in the river.
Right.
But two what are strapped to take it away.
Yeah. But everything is still over there.
When the main land,
It's still
yeah, one more on the main land where it covered with the sand. But it under this ground. Under the ground. Okay. This is Judah Ashman. He's the first agent for the settlers. See, Judah Ashman. When you get a street here, he has Judah Ashman Street. You can see it. Judah Ashman is the honorable civic servant of the war, the first agent of the ACS, American Colonization Society. Okay, this is Judah Ashman. Okay. Next time, let me sign up of it.
Lighthouse.
Oh, that's
As I
It
told
could
you.
be or was a lighthouse.
Lighthouse.
It was a lighthouse.
Okay.
Okay, let me take over.
Former president,
Okay, let him-
Tower. Okay.
See, this is the foundation of the pioneer movement. Huh?
Okay.
When William R. Trouble was building this island, he wanted for this building to be a 12-story. Then the movement, it will be the top, just like Washington D.C. had a
Monument. Yeah, monument. Okay.
Okay, the movement.
Yeah.
But the movement, the pioneer movement is a Centennial Pavilion there. You went there to the museum. You see about Centennial Pavilion, they are crawling on one another. That's one could have been up here.
Okay.
Yeah, but when they were building, the engineer told the president that when they build it at 12-story, it will sink. Now they left it. They just stop here. Okay?
So that's it. Okay. So I told you about this, but we just wanted to see about it.
So was this the 10-story or the 10-room house?
No,
No, okay.
there was a 10-room house there.
Was over here, but this
over
was
there.
the area that everything was.
Yeah, over there.
So this was originally the lighthouse. This was the first
Lighthouse.
point of entry.
Yeah.
When the free
Wow.
slaves arrived, they arrived right here.
Yeah, there was an entrance at that time to come on the island. Because at that time you never had bridge,
Right.
you never had nothing. But we can go there, you stay on it, you will see.
So this is
When they came first, at that time was the first ferry. The first ferry here. Was the first ferry crossing right here to go where called Loma Yard to the front street. But then our former president, each time he tried to open the road to come down here, then people be on the road. Who had Mary Bro at that time. She didn't want to open this road today, you see it's clear. But for now, nothing go wrong, people try to be on the road. But at that time, from on the Asmo Street, coming down here, people only used to back up there, they come right here, and the ferry
Take
took
the ferry
them
across
right
to the
here.
island.
So as time went back, they were getting plenty, then they built ferry 2. So,
back here. So these could still be used.
yeah. You have to watch anywhere again. But now you can see. We had this angle on our side. It's the second ferry. As they were getting plenty now, they said no. But we used to use only that one side. We can transfer another side to be transporting people to come on the island. So they have the second ferry here. And the pillow is on there. Where you see heavy iron like that, our brother then they try to call it, they don't want to call it. So it remain there. You can see it right on that point too. It was the entrance to come on the island at that time. So when you look up here, in the past government, where you see that Red Cross people, right? Red Cross were using this.